What's good, YouTube? We are back with another. What's good, YouTube? We're back with another episode of the Lab Report. As usual, y'all know the routine. I ain't gotta tell you more. You know what we doing. The Lab Report is essentially a show where we look back in the past week's drops of hip hop, and we sort of go back and look at three categories: the duds of the week, the singles of the week, and the albums of the week. We go in condescending order with a top 3 list for each one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the duds of the week. So fair warning, this week was a little weird all around. I feel like there wasn't much music to talk about, or there was a good bit of stuff to drop. There wasn't enough like notable things for me to include on these lists. Most of the stuff, I guess you could say, was just mid. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good enough for me to put on the list, or it wasn't bad enough for me to put on the duds. So for the duds, we actually only have 2 this week. Coming in at number 2, this hurts me because I think probably my most slept on hip hop album of all time is Harlan and Alondra by Buddy. I thought that was one of the best albums I've ever heard, no exaggeration. When he dropped that, I was a Buddy fan through and through. And he had a song on there entitled Black that was essentially about, black empowerment, how everybody, wants to be black, and so it's not to be black. Stuff like that. And with the current political climate and stuff, I thought it was a really dope track even back then. I think that was about a year or maybe 2 years now when he dropped that album. So now going into Black 2, I thought I was gonna get the same song with gritty production, like a really gritty, like edgy song. And this just wasn't that. This one sounded like a little corny, a little rough around the edges on the production. It was just really disappointing because I think Buddy's super talented. I think he showed that on the last Revenge of the Dreamers album that dropped last year. And I don't know. Something about this track just wasn't in for me. Buddy was starting to finally get the recognition he deserved after his contributions on Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And I feel like he hasn't capitalized on it. I feel like he hasn't dropped anything as a solo artist that's made people really, lift their heads and see how good of an artist that I know he is. The beat for this one was super weak. One of the biggest appeals to the last Black iteration that he came out with was how hard the beat was and how, gritty it really was. But this beat is so weak that you honestly just get lost in the lyrics. And even the lyrics provide nothing really of too much substance, and you get kind of bored after a little bit with just listening to his raps. I think the subject matter on the song is definitely there, but unfortunately I think that this song lacks the technicality and the complexity that Harlan and Alondra had in terms of production and in terms of lyrics. Moving on to number 1, this might be a shock to some people, but I'll explain. But my reasoning is not because I think the song is bad. I think the intention behind it was missing. I think it was disingenuous. So at number 1, we have the Rockstar remix, the Black Lives Matter remix of Rockstar, with DaBaby featuring Roddy Ricch. So I guess my biggest question is, like, what was the point of this, right? It kind of trips me out because if you look back, DaBaby put out a tweet saying that he wasn't going to go on Twitter, wasn't going to use his platform to say anything about police brutality because he was going to, quote unquote, outsmart them or something like that. And so to see him come out with this, and there's literally like a verse. He dedicated a verse to the first verse of Black Lives Matter, and then from there the rest of the song just continues. What kind of remix is that, and why couldn't you just put this on a song on its own? Is it because you want Rockstar to take off again and hit number 1? Is that why you put out a remix to it, so your streaming numbers could go up? That's what it seems like to me. So like I said, the only thing dedicated to Black Lives Matter in this was DaBaby's like half-assed verse at the beginning of the song. And DaBaby literally, in the verse, he mentions, the protest, and then literally in the next line mentions his new Lambo. And it's just like, the intention's not here. You don't actually care about this stuff. I really don't think, based on this song, I don't think he cares about what's really going on. I think this is a label ploy to get Rockstar back to the number 1 spot. If it ever dropped out, I don't know. But if it did drop out, I think this is definitely a ploy to get his spot back on the Billboard. I do like DaBaby. I really like his music. I've always defended him. Even with the last album, what people thought was mid, I actually really enjoyed it. But I can't get behind this after after you put out tweets saying that you don't do this kind of stuff and that you can't use your platform to speak out on it, but then you put out a remix to a song that has nothing to do about the cause, and you dedicate one verse to it, that isn't even fully about, you know, the topic at hand, I can't get behind that. And I'm extremely disappointed that he would put something out like this that was that disingenuous. I think it was definitely an eye opener for me. And I hope he does something. I hope he does more, because one verse isn't enough to talk about what's going on right now. Moving on to the singles of the week, we actually do have 3 for this one. In terms of singles, it was actually very, very competitive this week. There was a lot of stuff that dropped. Coming in at number 3, we have Spillage Village with End of Days. So I actually don't know like the entirety of like the collective. I know Jid's in it, I know Earthgang's in it. I think there's a few new artists in there as well that are pretty like unknown. But I think this is an indication of what this collective is going to be about and what the sound that they're going for. I think this is a super dope start. As usual, Jid, when you put Jid and Earthgang together, they never miss. All lyrically talented, all sonically talented. They really know how to put together a good song, and all of them can rap their asses off. There's a nice old blues beat with nice beat progression in it. The beat changes as they get into the chorus and into the bridge, which I think is super important. And a lot of songs, I think a lot of times we just sort of have production now that just is static and stays the same throughout the entirety of the song. So to see some really good like beat production, and this was really good. Everybody on the track played their part well. I think there was no like duds or there was no weak links within the verses, within the chorus, the bridge, any part of the song. I think everybody held their own, they held their weight, and I think they definitely earn more respect on their name and on their platform by doing so well on this song. I'm excited to see what they cook up in the future. I'm assuming a project with all of them is the next step, so super excited for that. I'll definitely be on the lookout, and I'm excited for this collective. At number 2, the man himself is back. He missed last week, but he's back for his spot. At number 2, we have The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby. This man is on fire, y'all. I don't know what he ate this year, but Lil Baby is killing everybody right now. If you would have asked me who I expected to drop an album talking about the current climate and talking about Black Lives Matter, I think Lil Baby would not have been anywhere close to the top of that list. So I'm super glad that he actually did come out and say something. Take notes, DaBaby. This is how you dedicate a song to a cause that definitely affects you and something that you're not above just because you're rich. There's so many layers to this song, like to the point where he even, an intricate part that I really enjoyed was how he made a point to mention the fact that, you know, one of the criticisms he knew he was going to get when making this song is you would have your people that denounce Black Lives Matter to say, oh, well, you rap about drugs and violence and all this stuff, so, you know, you shouldn't have a say in this black on black crime, blah, blah, blah. He makes it a point to mention that that's his reality. That's something he grew up in, so he's going to speak his truth. He doesn't glorify it. He just says, you know, this is what I came up in. You don't want to be there, grind, so you don't have to be there. Easily one of my favorite songs of the year. I'm super glad he tackled police brutality in this manner. I think he made it very listenable. And, you know, not that, you know, talking about this has to be listenable or catered to certain people to make them listen. But it definitely has replay value, and it's something that you can turn on and you can listen to, digest, really enjoy it. And it's not something that's gonna, you know, you put it on once, you listen to it, and it's like, okay, well, now we're done with that. I definitely think he made a timeless song with this one. I'm super proud of him. Continue to do your thing, bro. Like I said in every other episode, you're killing it. Coming in at number 1, I actually have not heard another project, another song from this woman, but I definitely did indulge in some more of her music after I heard this song. At number 1, we have Jaded by Cash Page. So y'all know me. Y'all know I'm a sucker for the R&B and the hip hop blend. And she did that masterfully on this song. So the song is a nice breakup ballad. Her vocals on this are absolutely insane throughout the entirety of the song. I think they mesh super well with the instrumental. I genuinely think if this is what the rest of her music sounds like, this woman could be a star, like a genuine star. And I'm honestly like embarrassed that I haven't heard of her before this. I believe she's working towards a project as well, dropping something very soon. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. I'm definitely super excited for that because I thoroughly enjoyed this song and it's been in my rotation since it dropped. So unfortunately, we only have one album this week. I know, sad. But there was definitely only one album that I felt like deserved to be on here. One album that I felt like, you know, I would want to put upon you guys to listen to because everything else is just a mid to me. Coming in at number 1, we have Drug Dealing is a Lost Art by Rumor, or RMR. I definitely didn't deserve to draw R. Please do not hold that against me in the comments. So if you haven't heard of Rumor before, he came out with it's like a country remix with a song entitled Rascal. I think it's an old Rascal Flatts song that he sort of did his like hip hop trap spin on. And that's where he got his blow up. I believe that was his first single even, so definitely go listen to that. In my opinion, his best song is the song Dealer. I believe that's his second single ever that came out. Easily one of my favorite songs this year. A nice take on the R&B rap infused trap music. I love his aesthetic with the whole ski mask thing and the whole like drug dealer persona, but not making like super hard, like gritty, you know, shoot 'em up music. I definitely think it's a nice take on that aesthetic, and I definitely think he has the appeal of not, his music doesn't sound like what you think it will when you see him. Go look on his Instagram first, and then I want you to go listen to the song Dealer, and then I want you to tell me if you expected that to be what sound he was going for. So ever since he dropped Dealer, I've been looking super forward to this project because it's a new artist, somebody I just caught on to this year, and I've been looking super forward to actually getting to listen to a full-length project from him. So when I saw that this album finally came out, which I didn't even know it was coming out, I didn't know the date. I just saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, he actually dropped a full-length project. It's definitely not the longest. It's 8 songs, 8-song project, so nothing too long, super short and to the point. I think the highlight of this album is definitely the intro with West Side Gun from Griselda. I definitely think that's the sound that's gonna make him big. That R&B trap infused sound that's really gritty, and it goes along with that drug dealer persona that he has. I definitely think that's when he's in his bag, and I think that's what's gonna make him big in the long run. I definitely like what he tried to do with some of the more poppy tracks on this thing, but for me personally, it just wasn't it. But it was definitely one of those things where I realized that, you know, the poppy sound might not be for me, but I definitely could see it appealing to somebody. You know, one of you guys or girls maybe even that likes pop music, a little more rap music, you might really cling on to something like some of these songs on here and really enjoy it. Definitely not bad music by any means, just wasn't for me personally. I definitely think he showed huge potential on this project. I was very happy at the end of my listen of it. And I hope he takes that trap sound from that intro and from Dealer to the bank, because I think that sound right there is money. I definitely think that's what's gonna make him reach that threshold of superstar. That's what he's going for. All right, I know that's a pretty short episode, but that's all I got this week. There wasn't too many notable things that came out this week, so this one's gonna be a little shorter than the others, I think. Sorry about that, but I hope you guys and girls enjoyed nonetheless. Make sure you follow all the links in the description on my socials. Make sure you catch a stream. The Twitch link will be in the description below as well. Follow the producer of all the music that you hear in the background. That'll be in the description. Buy some merch. And as usual, we'll be back in the lab next week.